Motorcycle Adventure Dirt Bike TV, supported proudly by Adventure Spec in the UK, Rally Raid Products, Giant Loop in the United States, Adventure Moto in Australia, Pirelli Tyres, Motul Oils, RK Chains and Australian Adventure Bike Magazine.
Nugget and I have had two great wins. Firstly, we've been invited by Craig Woody Woodward and Elise of Elwood Motorcycle Adventures to join them on a 10-day adventure from Cairns to Darwin, and then go exploring with them in the Western Australian Kimberleys, where they hope to expand their motorcycle adventure tours. And to make it even better, Husqvarna Australia have given Nugget and I two brand new Husky 701s to ride on this 7,000km adventure across Australia's tropical top end. Nugget and I were over the moon when Husky offered us the bikes. I'd recently ridden the Husqvarna long range and had been very impressed. The Huskies are light and powerful with excellent suspension and handling. Out of the box, they are a premium adventure mount and require little modification, just an off-road bash plate, metal handguards and rally pegs. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples should be aware that this video contains images and the names of people who have passed away. In this next stage of the adventure, we leave the tour behind in Darwin and head southwest towards the Kimberleys. Just 5 bikes, no support and the gear we carry. In terms of motorcycle adventure, the Kimberley region in Western Australia can be regarded as one of the final frontiers. Its unique and ancient geological history that stretches back 1800 million years sets it apart from anywhere I've ever ridden in this country. In those ancient times, the Kimberley was a separate landmass that collided with the mainland to form towering cliffs, dramatic ranges, spectacular waterfalls. Country just made for motorcycle adventure. Back in Mataranka, heading to Western Australia, heading towards Lake Argyle. So we're ready to go. Nugget, are you good?
Good, mate.
You good? Have you got a man bun on now? What's going on here? What's this, the samurai?
The samurai. One of her elastic bands, and I've got a ponytail. I've never had a ponytail.
Yeah.
Can't even shake it anymore.
I can't say it's a fashion that's going to stick, but hey.
Milk here too, brother.
So we leave the bikes here at a mate's place, and then we head off. There's just 5 of us now. Elise is ready to rock and roll. She's good to go. Yep. We've got our dried food, we've got our tuna. Got our tuna we're going to live on.
Rice cream.
Rice cream. This is where I start getting envious of Nugget. Like with his over 500 k's range. Now he knows how to use the tank squid.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an incident we've had there. I do remember.
Rookie error. So you're telling me I pushed him 20 k's in with my foot.
When he had
grows an extra 5
in Arnhem.
So what he had one of these taps turned off, so half of that fuel.
It's only a roof above.
God.
Am I going to have to give you fuel again, Dave?
Well, you haven't given me fuel yet. You just left me.
I had a laugh. I did laugh there. I rounded up someone else to get you fuel though. Have you had to fuel him up yet?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, we all have.
All right, where do you get that?
Way back.
Harold, thank you for the bladder.
That's a good bladder, isn't it?
Dave doesn't go anywhere without his giant loop bladder.
Can we stop the adverts? Jesus. With a speed limit of 130 kilometres per hour, we are quickly knocking over the distance. Well, that was until a rookie error on my part held us up. Running an ultra heavy duty tube underinflated at speed on hot tarmac is a recipe for a flat. Not only did I stuff the tube, but I'd also beaten the rim tape to death in the process.
I think that's what's happened. I think it was great on the dirt, but
Yeah, prolonged 130k an hour because that's the
Yeah.
speed limit here in the Northern Territory.
yeah, that's what's done it, isn't it?
Yep.
Squid uses the old tube to make a rim tape, which we finish off with a layer of gaffer tape.
Okay, so look out, this is great having this duct tape, isn't it, Squid? See, it's perfect. See, so we've put that heavy duty tube underneath for those aggressive kind of spoke nipples, and now we're just going around with this and it just fits perfectly.
If it was good enough for Peter Brock to win 9 Bathurst with his car taped together, mate, it's good enough for us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the tube fairy has got me by the ghoulies, and just 10 k's down the road I've got my second flat on the rear. Fortunately, Perry stopped to give us a hand.
Perry,
Thanks, mate.
you're on YouTube now.
Squid and I are running a bit behind now, and meanwhile Nugget has moved ahead on the lookout for a snapping handbag. And true to form, once we catch up with him, he comes up with the goods.
God, Nugget, you are a crocodile hunter.
Yeah, I've seen a few. They're in the pandanus, but they dive down real quick. He's up on the shore.
Fresh nugget.
He looks like there's 2 set of eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Just there. What's that one just under the water?
Yeah, he's up there on the bank with his mouth open.
Mate, you are a real crocodile finder.
Yeah. How many handbags do you reckon you make?
Oh, two handbags.
Normally, transport days stuck on big, boring, flat roads is not something that excites me, and I avoid it when I can. We had our compass fixed on a bearing west, and by about midday, huge landforms, dramatic ridges and cliffs emerged from the horizon. There was never a dull moment. In the late afternoon, the tall grass became drier and spot fires dotted the landscape, and the air was filled with bush smoke. These were deliberately lit fires to reduce the intensity of summer fires that would get out of control in the long, dry, hot season. But they have many other benefits that are good for the environment. These days it's called cultural burning, but in reality Indigenous communities have been practicing this form of land care for thousands of years.
Huge boab tree. We've got 180 k's to go, I think, till we get to Lake Argyle. Is that what it is, Nugget? No. As long as I don't set this dry grass on fire while we're getting out. Oh yeah, we'll be out of it.
So we are at the West Australian Northern Territory border.
Yep.
Just coming through, doing our COVID checks and quarantine, making sure that we haven't got any illegal substances.
No,
fruit
it's
or
a
veg.
veg.
Yeah. And we're all good. We passed.
We're all good, we passed.
Yep.
So the Western Australian Police are here and quarantine are here. And we get going. And how far out are we now?
I've only got maybe
42 k's.
30 k's, Lake Argyle.
Ah,
Lake Argyle.
Lake Argyle. Police, you nearly got hit by a stork.
I did. Very close. Did you see a poo come out?
Yeah.
Out of you at the store.
I nearly got hit by a bird. Woody did get hit by a bird.
Yeah, he took out a bird.
Couple of, I didn't see a buffalo, saw snakes.
Snake.
It's only about 7 k's.
See ya. Well, we're out of quarantine. You're still, COVID's still present, and there's still the checks to be done. Heard that was good. The The local Western Australian police there gave us a hand. Thank you, Western Australian cops. And the quarantine guy was very helpful. And we're back on our way. Really don't like riding it this time, but apparently Lake Argyle is absolutely stunning and worth this. I tell you a thing though, on fatigue, I've just washed my visor and it's the smartest thing I ever did. Because it's nice and clear again, and yeah, I've got much better vision. And this is the thing, you know, as you get tired, you start missing out on those things that actually keep you prepared, and one of them is good vision. And you don't have good vision if you've got bugs all over your glasses.
We don't do photo, we do 4K video, mate.
Oh, yeah, mate.
If you look up the top there, Woody and Elise are up the top of the dam wall. Wow. Nugget, where are we, mate?
Mate, we're Lake Argyle Dam and the Ord River that side, the dam that side. The water's flowing out 2 pipes. It's awesome. It's pretty inspiring.
Huge dam, 17 times Sydney Harbour.
That's pretty big. That's a lot of baths.
Oh. They're in it now. I haven't got my bloody ABS off. Oh wow, look at that valley. Isn't that amazing? How good was that? Beautiful. Let's go. How's this? Nugget, the Suzukis are running out of juice.
Dave Darcy.
Do you know why we're running out of fuel? Because we
What?
had to empty fuel out of this to put into the Husky.
Oh, that's
I've
outrageous.
seen a Husky go.
That is a lie, Nugget. That's a,
99% of the Husky was on the ground, wasn't it, Nugget?
Oh, it was.
It was so. How he gathered it up, I will never know.
you know what? I've got it on video. They're full of it.
I was gonna
All
whip
under
my
control.
camera
It's
out.
on video. They're exaggerating.
What, in the sand?
Crossed up in the sand. he
Nugget's
went,
eyes
"Ah!"
were that round. He's like, he's looking at me going,
I was
he's
going,
that close.
"Yes,
No.
pull over."
No, princess.
You see Dave, he gathered it up. Well,
At least they're full of
I
it.
think it was
Are they?
a birdie,
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's
it?
I
on-
didn't see it, so it didn't happen.
GoPro,
Yeah.
it's there. I've
Camera
got it.
doesn't lie.
It was pure brute strength and pride that kept that up, Dave. Nothing else.
No, it was skill.
So Dave, one thing that is probably not a good thing, but it does turn out handy. Whenever you run out of fuel and you need a bottle, I can guarantee you, no matter where you are in Australia, if you ride for a kilometre down the road, you'll find a bottle.
And that's what we
just
did.
You'll find a bottle or a can sitting on the side of the road.
To those dirty bastards who litter Australia, thank you.
Yeah.
Also, your sandwich bag, Ziploc bag, they hold a litre. Doesn't look like it, but you can do 3 of them before it falls apart.
Wow.
I learnt that up the Cape with my sandwich bag.
Yeah, I suppose you ate your sandwiches before you...
I've eaten a few sandwiches, mate. It was never a problem having an empty sandwich bag in my kit.
We head north to Kununurra, which is the gateway into some of the best and most unique adventure riding I've done in this country. But like everything in this huge brown land, there's big kilometres to travel.
Okay, so there's crocodiles to the right. You gotta watch it, it's slippery. Watch the bike. You do not want to make a mistake. There's about 20 crocodiles to the right hand side there. They just sit there and wait for the barramundi to come over. See this guy fishing?
It's amazing to think that I rode from London to Sydney and didn't get one flat. And on this trip I've already had 2. I've always held the view that you make your own luck, and by riding tyres slightly overinflated reduces the likelihood of pinch flats. But as Squid and I waited for Nugget on the side of the road, we had no idea this would be the start of an emotional journey for Nugget called tube anxiety. Until this trip I didn't even know the condition existed, but by the end of the trip we were feeling it. And this is how it all started. I bet you it's a back flat tyre.
Front.
Front?
Yeah. All right, boys.
Okay.
You want to go tell him, Dave, and I'll go fix it. He's got tubes, eh?
Yes. I think I'll come back first.
I had this horrible feeling that Nugget didn't have any front tubes with him, and I think it's my fault. But there's no way in the world I'm going to concede that out in the bush. And anyway, Nugget, if you're listening, I'm going to admit it now. I stuffed up.
Trying to find something to lift his bike up on.
Have you got a tube that we need to know?
We just got to make sure you got a front tube. If you don't, I've got a front tube. No, Squid, I reckon I'm going to earn a lot of money here. I reckon he doesn't have a front tube at 21.
One day, I'm going to wet my pants.
Mate, what sort of an adventurer would go travelling without a tube, Dave?
I don't know, but I reckon you're there.
What's that?
That's an 18. Oh, he's got it. Is that an 18 or a 21?
It's a 21.
He's there. He's past adventure school.
You do not travel without your tubes, I've learned.
Yeah, I know.
Hang on. It's 18, you liar.
You've given me 2 18s.
I haven't given you anything. You...
You gave me the 2 tubes that come out of my bike.
I did not give you 2 18s. Don't lump. He's serious.
These are the tubes that came out of the bike when we put the heavy duties in.
Did you hear that speech? You got to be prepared.
I heard it all.
You heard it all.
I'm running what you gave me.
Oh, mate.
Wow.
So do you want my 21 inch now?
You must have 2 21s and I've got the 2 18s.
No, I've got one 21 and one 18.
Well, how did I end up with 2 18s?
Because you're not an adventurer's left testicle. Oh, here you go. Hang on.
No, it's another 18.
He's got.
I bought that today.
You've got 3 18s.
I've got 3 18s.
Mate. God.
I will stretch it.
No. Okay. So, see this? This is a 21 inch that Nugget needs because what has he got? He's got 3 18s. But we'll leave that for another day. So what's happened, Squid?
Well, you can see here by the rim.
Oh, yeah, he's hit it.
That's what happens when a very short man with a very large stomach tries to ride at high speed. Something always going to.
It was a bang.
Something's going to break, and for once it wasn't his waistline.
It was a bang. I'll give it that. I just boom.
So what we got
That's
now?
a DID rim, like they're pretty strong.
Oh yeah, they're strong. They're not nugget proof.
They're not nugget proof.
No, they're not.
Anyway, there's the tube. That's what's that? That's potato wedges.
Cartage out here.
Yeah.
$1.60 a kilometre. You know, freight. Mate, we'd be in for $300-400 there, wouldn't we, Nugget?
It'd be nearly worth it.
And my labour for putting it in.
With Nugget's pinch flat fixed, we're back on the road and heading to an adventure trail that had everything and more. I know it's a big call, but this day's riding would go down as some of the best I have ever experienced. Great weather, a stunning huge landscape, tricky topography, and a trail surface that varied from bottomless mud to plate-sized rocks and everything in between. But what lifted this ride to another level was the navigational challenges. This area had been inundated by one of the biggest wet seasons in years, and parts of the trail were still underwater and other sections had been washed away.
Move out of the way. Oh wow, have a go at this up here. Woohoo! Like an inland sea. Oh, wow. Wow, have a go at that.
Our navigation task for the day was to go around the right-hand side of that huge bluff and follow alongside that range all the way to the Gibb River Road and the Pentecost River crossing.
How good is this?
Mate, that little shorty, I come over the hill, these two are riding through, Mickey Bull's running everywhere, Land Cruiser in the background.
Mate, this is Adventureland. This is bloody brilliant.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Away along this track now. Park grass, wash out, just don't know what's coming next, so you don't want to go too far. Oh, shit. Keep the toes up too. Toes in.
We're now on the floodplains of the Pentecost River, and our objective is to ride towards the end of that range that is far away in the distance. Every now and again we are picking up the track, but as we move further out onto the floodplain, much of the track has been washed away in the big wet. Without the advantage of altitude, trips and traps lay in front of us that only become apparent flying the drone. We find that floodwater is still laying around, and although the dried mud looks hard packed and solid, I've been in these conditions before and I'm extremely wary. I've been down my axles in mud in this type of terrain as the bike breaks through that crusty surface into a bottomless pit of black ooze. And I've been lucky to escape, so when Elise moves towards an area that I know will be softer, I have my heart in my mouth, because if she gets stuck, it will take all of us a very long time to get her out.
Woody's taking us. The Pentecost River is on our right. The problem is you've seen Squid go to our left because he's concerned that the mud flats will get us, I think. Anyway, let's see what unfolds next. Left. He must be happy now with the route. It's coming back to us. As before, I reckon that's a real risk. That's a real risk. Woody's going for it. Yeah, I don't know. No. Yeah, that's what's happening. See how Elise got stuck there? Yeah, I've been in mud flats before. It's just, that's dangerous. We're going to have to navigate our way around there. Ooh. You were lucky.
Woo! That's away, but we're going to have to go around. This is where we got to.
Yeah. So that's the track over there,
This is what turned us around.
Where's the track?
just on top of that hill.
Well, we've got to find a way around. What about up around there?
Yeah.
I reckon you got around the river up there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's tricky stuff. We've got to get... So the track's over there. They know where they're going. What an amazing adventure. You know, Western Australia, the last frontier. I'm going to say it once and I'm going to say it again. Just brilliant. Gibber. I've never seen gibber like that. That is huge. That's a bull. No, it's a cow. Don't know my anatomy very well.
As we move closer to the range, the conditions get a little rougher and trail speed drops. We come upon a fresh track that is heading in the right direction, and we stick with that for a while, but there is no guarantee this is taking us to the Pentecost River crossing. It could be just a farmer's track, and that's why we have to keep our wits about us and keep roughly heading in the right direction. And if we feel the track is taking us away from where we want to head, we go back to riding cross country. Hopefully we can loop around the big mud flat and pick up the trail on the other side. But this landscape is huge and it is more challenging than you think.
Now this is a fair dinkum wilderness track. those rock ledges.
We're back off the trail and heading tentatively across tall grass that hides large rocks, mud holes, snakes and potentially a crocodile or two. Ringing in my ears is motocross legend Stephen Gall's best advice as to how to avoid lower leg fractures from hitting unforeseen obstacles. Keep your toes in. I can hear him saying it now. Keep your toes in.
Down the track again. How good was that, Elise?
Oh, I love this sort of riding. Like when you kind of know where you're going, but you still got to guess a little bit, follow GPS, find the track, rocky.
So we're going to go, we're still going to follow the Coburn Ranges.
Yeah.
All the way as far as we can see.
Wow.
And then, so we're running parallel with the Pentecost River.
Right.
And then we'll hit the Gibb River Road over there somewhere.
Yep.
And then start running across west on the Gibb.
The legacy of Elise's excursion into the mud is
Mangrove mud too. So
mangrove mud.
It's like Play-Doh. Look at this.
Oh, crumbs.
Yeah. It's not, I need to get it out before it's starting to bake like rock hard. I've never seen mud like it. It's just sticky, it's like clay. You could make a pot.
what's wrong?
Nugget, have you hipped into Rosie's bash plate? Holy snapping. That's a decent, it's a decent, that's a decent dent. Oh, look at that.
Look at the gear lever. Look at the angle of the gear lever.
No, that's his brake
That's
lever.
my brake pedal.
Oh,
mate.
brake lever, sorry. It's been up
Get
too.
back to the Suzuki.
Around that mud flat and trying to get up onto this ridge where the track goes. This is the trouble, you know, it's a big wet this year and it's made life a little bit tricky, but you know, we're running on we've got a GPS which tells you roughly where you're lost. At the end of the day, you still got to ride the topography and get through the obstacles, and this is a big vast land, as you can see. Whoa! Oh! Are you alright? I just turned on the video, Elise.
Wrong gear.
Oh, I don't know if I can. Hang on, I've got to find us.
Oh, it's Nugget's down.
Oh, I saw that.
Hey.
I got that on video too. Hang on. It's really tricky in this long grass. All sorts of things hiding. Very. Oh shit, that nearly knocked me off. The afternoon sun. What a cracking vista. Honestly, this is some of the best adventure riding I've done in many years. So memorable. You know, in my own country too. This makes it even better. Wow. This road has thrown everything at us. Everything. deep sandy ruts, gravel, big plates of shale that nearly threw Nugget clean off his bike when it bounced up and flipped up under his bash plate. And this sort of stuff just comes out of nowhere. Just make sure you're on your toes. Lisa's doing it well. And then into sand. Just to keep your balance. Got everything this track. It's tested us all day. Give us the most magnificent views. Looks like marshes or something. Whoa. It's alright. Look. It's like a bull dusty sort of thing. Oh, that's bull dust. Snake, stop! That's what I said. I kept saying snake and you didn't hear me.
Oh, now that is a black-headed python.
Is that a black-headed python or what?
Definitely.
I'll pick him up.
Oh God, now we've got
Blackhead, isn't it?
80% of people are bitten by snakes when they're grabbing hold of them.
Serious?
Yeah, it's a blackhead. Just look at him.
He's alright.
Nice. Don't pick him up.
Where's his
Venomous.
head?
Is it a black-headed python?
He's a black-headed python or a tiger snake.
Yeah,
So they're not venomous, are they?
Yeah, it's black-headed python.
Yeah, there's his black head.
Yeah, they're harmless.
Whoa, you come around to have a crack at the tree.
Good on him, I say. Just leave the little critter alone.
Bloody amazing, isn't it?
Mate, this is some of the most memorable riding I've had since India, I reckon.
Certainly an adventure when you can't even see where you're going. And
Nah, it's great.
football-sized rocks you're just hitting in the grass.
Mate, I saw you hit one. It just lifted the whole back of your bike off the ground about a foot. Yeah.
They're big, that's for sure. Stood up on end.
Oh, look at these rocks.
The day's ride had been relentless but great fun, and very rewarding. We had reached the crossing of the Pentecost River on the Gibb River Road and had to celebrate with a crossing in the setting sun. Our camp for the night would be El Questro, a ritzy resort that would sting us $24 for a barramundi burger. We rode into camp in the dark, but the adventure wasn't quite over yet.
Thanks, mate. So good.
How good was that?
I got some great footage of you.
I tell you, you can ride well, mate.
You are kidding me. Woody, are you serious? Oh. Let's go. God. Crossing the Pentecost River at 9 o'clock at night. This is a breakdown in conditions. Nugget nearly went over then. You're kidding me. You are kidding me. What a way to finish the day. Nugget, you nearly went in too. You had a bit of a panic rev there. Nugget, how cold was that?
Oh shit.
You'd freeze a paddle pop in there, mate. That's how cold my sack was. I was freezing.
God, how'd you go, Squid?
Well, we're clearly not that intelligent, Dave, because me and Nugget had a discussion about the 0-degree sleeping bags we left in the support vehicle 2 days ago.
There was 3 of them there.
Mate, I'm telling you now, last night I was in trouble, Dave. I was in trouble. I didn't think you were going to have a sweep rider today.
No, it's freezing.
Left in the
What happened then, Nugget? How come you got that?
My skills got mixed up with my ambition.
Were you behind the sweep for the first time for 14 days?
Yes.
I thought they're going to leave me. Oh, no. Got a little nugget panic.
Where are you guys from?
Oh, from the southwest WA, a couple from Perth, one from Bunbury.
Right. So how long you been on the road?
About a week and a half now. Got a week and a half plus a bit of indulgence at the end if we're lucky.
Yes. How's the BMs going?
Awesome. They eat up the long distances, but as you can imagine with all this, they can be a bit heavy on some of the tricky crossings.
I was going to say, straight out of here, there's a nice little river crossing to get out of here.
There is. Yeah, and in fact, I reckon that one just here is tougher than the Pentecost right at the moment.
All right.
Pentecost down on the Gibb River Road is quite shallow. We went and had a bit of a peek yesterday and a bit of a squiz down some tracks.
You got to watch the other side of the Pentecost. The other side is deep.
Hollow.
Yeah. No, we rode it last night. Yeah.
Oh right, gotcha. So yeah, the depth is not so bad for us. It's the bloody big kundis, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck. I'm going to film you going across this crossing down here.
I hope I get to see the footage.
Yeah, oh, don't worry, you will. How you liking your ride?
Fantastic.
Yeah, had a good time?
Had a great time. It's great up here. Everyone should come up here, especially on a bike.
Yeah. It's great on a bike. Lovely once you get going, isn't it? Even when it's hot, it's lovely.
It's just the annoying dust, but that's a first world problem.
Yeah. Boys, where do you think our leader's going to take us today? I mean, he kicked the goal yesterday. That was
hard to top yesterday, but he's a pretty special bloke, mate. He's pretty good at doing this, Dave. I've followed him around Australia for the last 15 years of my life, and I let him do the navigation, mate. He's that good at it.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, we've both ridden various countries, and I must say that was one of the best days of riding I've ever had yesterday.
Yeah, that was up there, wasn't it?
Just doing circle work, trying to find a track. Everyone's doing circles, looking.
Trying to find the track. Yeah, because the wet season's been big, hasn't it?
Were you riding or sliding?
Oh, yeah.
Both.
One stack, let's see.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there was one stack.
The goat.
I think anyone who does that terrain and gets through, you can be forgiven for a couple of falls.
Mate, of course you can, mate. And that's the main thing, and ride to your limits.
It was a good slider.
Yeah. No, I know you got a good injury there on your elbow. And let's have a look at this bash plate now. We've got a bit more time.
Yep.
Mate, I saw you when you hit that. So what Nugget did, I was behind him. Then there was this a rock plate, and it when he after his front wheel went off, it flipped up and went bang and hit. You can see there, it hit his bash plate and lifted the whole bike up off the ground about a foot. I don't know how you managed to stay on it, mate.
I travelled on the front wheel for about 5 minutes.
I know you did.
And all it was like 8 seconds on a bull. All I was thinking is, Rosie's gonna kill me.
But yeah, they're having a ball on these big bikes. See, they've travelled some huge kilometres. But I can't help but think like they're really top heavy. Oh, Nugget's stealing a beamer.
I've stole the beamer. I reckon I could get it. It says 240.
Yeah.
I reckon I could get it.
El Questro on its own is a magnificent tourist resort. There's so much to do here. But Woody's got other plans for us. We're heading the isolation. El Questro provided us a shower, some fuel, a very expensive meal, and $65 a shout for ginger beer. 5 bottles of ginger beer was $65. So you need a home loan if you're going to get rat-faced here. Anyway, last night we came down and we crossed this river in the dark, and there was a little bit of consternation there, but we got through, a bit of humour. But those guys on the BMW, they're going to come down through here in a minute. Oh, that keeps you on your toes. Okay, I'm going to film these Beamer boys getting through that. I think the thing for them is their bikes are really top heavy. You know, they've loaded their fuel and their water way up high. But anyway, let's see how they go. Here goes Woody and Squid. This was a pretty decent crossing last night in the dark, Nugget, eh?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
Eh?
Especially not knowing how far we had to go after it.
No.
Yeah.
So here come the Beamer boys.
I got my helmet off just in case I've got a race in here. I'm willing to. Yeah. He's zigzagging, he's going for it. Yeah! Woo!
Next.
Just don't stop.
Cool. Good save. Good save. Well done.
Yeah.
Woo!
Give it some.
Oh, he's going for the crocodiles. Come on, keep it up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. A for effort. Come on. Come on. You're nearly there. Yes. Come on. Don't hit me.
Keep going. Keep it going.
MADTV. You're on it. Well done, mate.
Well done.
Well done. Woo! They're through. Wow, look at this place. Nugget, where are you taking me? Stunning, isn't it?
Feels like I'm in the rainforests of Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, it's amazing. Apart from the people, it's like Pitt Street.
I can hear them.
Hear the pygmies? Here we are in the Western Australian wilderness. Not a person to be seen. Oh my God.
Your bloke's got the right
Squid's
idea.
in.
He just travels in short.
Squid's in. He's
I'm
in.
finding this Western Australia is a
He's in,
land
Nugget.
of immense contrasts. One moment we're being tested to navigate our way through a huge isolated landscape, and the next, with crowds matching what I'd find on Bondi Beach, I'm fighting to find a waterhole to swim in. If yesterday's anything to go by, one thing is for sure. Woody will be navigating us towards some of the most rewarding adventure riding I've done in years.
bit deep over there. We're on the Gibb River Road. We're making good time. It's quite funny, we're just cruising along at highway speeds. You just get so used to speed and gravel. Huskies are going well. We haven't gone through any oil, which, I mean, when you think about it, we've been going now for, this is day 16, and, you know, we've got the bikes revving, you know, quite high at times, you know, doing up to 130 k's plus, and no, the bikes are going good. Yeah, the locals have put us onto this gorge. I mean, what we keep seeing is just stacks and stacks of people. But apparently there's a good spot down here.
Now this is the benefit of local knowledge.
Yeah.
They gave us a bit of information, 16 k's out of town, a little P sign, turn right. Look what it brings you out at. Magical. We would have driven right past that otherwise.
Wouldn't have known about it. Oh, you're kidding me.
Cheese. Chorizo sausage.
Oh.
Leatherman. I got some jats up there in my bag.
Some crackers.
Got some crackers.
Show us your crackers. Oh, there they are. Oh no, they weren't your crackers. We're in Western Australia, we're in the Kimberleys. And we're eating chorizo sausage and cheese and jats. What's it like, Nugget? Is that good?
Oh, it's heaven.
Okay, well, I might come in then.
Freshly washed.
Oh, he's got cracked pepper, jats, chorizo. Reminds me of being in Spain. Have a look at this. Nugget and I have gone for a swim in there. That is not as warm as you think. And we're drying off now. Now where did I come down there? I think I came down here. Right, let's do it. After you.
The rugged beauty of the Kimberleys ensures you're never too far from a decent river crossing. Each one has its own unique challenges, and whilst one line may be easy, the other may be full of surprises. Dirty water just adds to the tension, and you could easily completely sink a bike, but not if you're squid. I've never seen a bloke try so hard to keep upright, and I guess the added incentive was knowing the crocodiles were often seen here.
Well done, Squid.
That ain't so pretty.
Wasn't pretty. Didn't have to be, mate. Got you there. Day 15. This is our life. Come in, have a shower. I wash my same shirt with shampoo, socks with shampoo, undies. Keep my boots up on the rear vision mirrors to keep the spiders out. Little one-man tents become home. How are we going with the sausages, mate?
Mate, we're getting there.
They're going?
Yeah, mate.
You got a bit of heat?
Nugget. Oh, lovely. You've done well.
Now, I'd like to introduce you to the cooking nugget. And whilst his dinner was excellent, his breakfast was unforgettable in so many ways. God help me.
So, Nugget, tell me what you're cooking.
Sausage goreng.
Sausage goreng?
Yeah. We're going to have...
These are sausages from last night.
Yeah. Hygienically prepared. Have you washed your hands before you went to the toilet this morning?
I've had a shower.
Oh, that's good. No, but what did you do first? Did you go to the toilet first, or... He's not telling us, Elise.
No, I wouldn't. That's why I'm having muesli.
That's it.
My name's Billy, not silly.
You could do some sort of kitchen cooking program.
There we go. I've got a... But, to add to it, we have some cheese and nuggets, secret spices.
This is... Right. Okay.
This will put some hair on your head.
Right.
How many of them you got?
Clearly not many.
That was a low joke, Dave.
That was a low joke, but it just came out. Oh my God, that's why he's got... Look at him. He's got hundreds of them.
I've been saving on them.
Pay good money for that in a restaurant. Nugget.
Mate, look at that. Don't delay. My mum will be proud of me. Taught me everything I know with cooking.
If you didn't flick all the sausages out on the ground, we'd be happier. You putting the thing in it?
Yeah, we'll put some juices in.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit of seasoning, fried onion.
No, those other ones. You had those other ones.
Mate, who's the cookie? You don't tell the cookie how to cook.
Sorry, mate. Those other ones, you had spicy stuff. Those three, yeah.
Well, I just had some...
Got to put that one in, the packet one in too, 'cause that's real flavoury.
Is it? Okay, I've got one other one.
God, here we go. Well, that's not going to happen. Oh, yes, it does happen. Oh, God, am I eating this? Oh, that looks like a pussy pimple. Oh, God. Oh, I'm gonna... Am I eating this?
Hope not, because I'll have it all. I know Squid will eat it.
Meanwhile, what's Elise had this morning?
I just had some muesli, yogurt and fruit.
Yeah.
And cuppa.
And you're just dying to have some of this, aren't you?
Yep. Yummy.
You've got to put the other ones in, Nugget. They're the ones that got the real flavour.
Oh, looky, what's he pulling out now? What's this one? Oh, the hygienic cook. This is going to be the most sick. Oh, God help me. He inhaled it. It's like you've been shot with a flower gun.
Oh, that stuff's really strong. I can smell it from here.
It's got this on your nose, mate. Oh, that's too hot.
Righto, kids, bring your bowls up.
We want to get a live tasting. What do you reckon, Nugget?
Master Chef.
Master Chef. Can you get the powder off your nose? All right.
Big night in the pub.
Squid.
All right, well, I'll go a bit of sausage with a bit of noodles.
Mm.
You could live on it.
What about Woody?
Woody's the independent one.
Oh.
I'd rather Woody like my sausage than Squid.
Nugget.
Oh, you got the mark of
love it.
approval. I'd like to see Elise have a little taste. Oh, God, she was dying for that.
I feel like I just got the prom queen. If you like.
Oh, me.
All right, where are we, mate?
All right, so we're here at the moment. We're at Drysdale River Station.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much in the middle of the Kimberley right now.
Right.
So what the plan was to go further north, but we've been told that the road's shut, heading further north. At the moment, we're a bit too early, so we can't get any further north than here.
Yeah.
So we're going to backtrack back onto the Gibb River Road.
Yeah.
And we'll go down and have a look at all the gorges along the Gibb River Road. Camp somewhere here tonight along the Gibb.
Yeah.
And then we'll work our way down through Winjana, back along the southern side of the Kimberley, and we'll work our way back east back across to Daily Waters and that later on in the next few days. So that's the rough plan for now. Could change, but we'll see where we can get to.
Yep. So Nugget, what's the go, mate?
Dave, you just asked what's the scale of this map, and I just happen to know that all maps used for topographical and geographically for travel are set at 1 in 100,000.
Hang on, what's this say?
1 in a million.
I forgot a zero.
Can Woody oversight this?
Give it a little polish. Just rough it up, ready for it to stick.
Is that the spot though?
No.
Nugget's tube anxiety is real. There are now no spare front tubes in the group, and patching becomes mighty important. Well, I should say patching correctly, and the challenge we have is Woody's repair kit is old and the glue and patches tend not to stick well. Combine that with old tubes that are splitting and we have a problem. We leave this camp knowing we are on loaded bases. One more front flat and we are in serious trouble if these patches don't work. An important part of this trip is for Woody and Elise to identify great adventure trails and places of interest for their expanding tour business that will include this Kimberley region. We're finding stacks of great tracks and some spectacular pristine waterholes like this one. Well, I thought it was pristine. Note to self, never ever swim downstream from Nugget. God help me.
Is it true that Nugget did something in that swimming hole before I jumped in?
Something I do not want to talk about while I'm eating.
Nugget! And there I was swimming downstream. I've probably eaten it. What's the go? A sandy bottom.
Yep.
It's really deep just in the middle.
Yeah.
Just there, really deep. Over there is not too bad by the look of it.
What about off to the left, right?
Yeah, there's a little deep section there too. I think I'll give it a go through the centre there.
Yeah.
Just off to the left. But right in the middle, I reckon it'll be over the bonnet.
Yeah, you gotta keep it on. Yeah, this is probably the most sandiest river we've come across. Here comes Elise. It's got that first bit. Champion. Easy. This is campsite 17. We've got a real special treat, but there's a bit of pain involved. So Nugget, what do we have to do?
It's like a run, swim, run. So we've got to head down to the river, swim across the river with a barrel with our clothes in it.
Yeah.
We've got to get up the other side and then we've got to walk, I think it was 25 k's, or it might have been 2.5. 2.5 k's of steep hill.
Yeah.
Nugget's got his walking shorts on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried about the swim though.
Yeah, how's the lease going? 7 o'clock in the morning, you swimming?
It's about 8 degrees.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. I'll watch.
Lex is going in the barrel, I heard.
Yeah, you can put me in the barrel.
All right.
The things we do.
Come on, Nugget, where are you? We made it, Nugget.
Certainly no Ian Thorpe.
No, you're not an Ian Thorpe.
Nugget, that's all you want. Just a little one. Just a little one.
Got to
mate.
redeem myself.
God, thank God. Nugget, the rock climber. There's nothing Nugget can't do. Look at that.
In the afternoon, a kind camper gave Nugget and I a lend of their canoe, and true to form, Nugget the croc hunter found a floating handbag, the freshwater variety, not far from where we had swum to cross the creek on our earlier walk.
Dave, how come everyone's got a bikini-clad model with them and I've got you?
I don't know, mate. It's just the luck of the draw. Just the luck of the draw.
There's a freshie, Dave, over there on the rock. Oh, is it? I know. Is it moving now?
If there's one thing that keeps me coming back to adventure riding, it's the realisation that just when you thought you've seen everything, something comes along that catches you out and hits you right between the eyes. Nugget is suffering from tube anxiety, and before this ride I didn't even know the condition existed. I can tell you that it has very similar symptoms to fuel anxiety, but instead of constantly thinking about the next fix of fuel, Nugget has rubber on his mind. 21 inches of rubber to be exact. His trail speed is dropping, he's becoming withdrawn, and he's not concentrating on the job at hand. He needs a rubber fix, and out here the chances of that are pretty slim.
Nugget, you hit a big rock. There's bloody plenty of them here, isn't there? So irritating.
Yeah, mate, knocked it out. Bloody hell.
Have we got any 21s?
You wouldn't believe it, Squid.
I would believe it, mate. You hit that big rock back there?
200, yeah, about 300 metres back.
Yep. I missed it by that much.
Mate, I know.
Like it's bloody huge. You just hit that and bam. Squid, do you have a 21 or not? No.
I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, I gotta get going. Yep.
Squid has the last 21-inch front tube between the five of us, and everything is looking sweet, so I move ahead. But after a lengthy wait at the next rendezvous point, it's clear that Nugget isn't back on the road.
Okay, fill us in, gentlemen. What's been happening since I...
Well, we got a flap,
Yeah.
and on the front, I hit a big rock, and I you can see the big warp, and I yeah, right, that's it. And Squid had a spare on the front of his, and it had wear marks, so it had holes in it already.
Wow.
From rubbing on the thing. So we put that one in, it was no good. And then we put that new 18 I bought in.
Yeah.
But it was really tight, and we pinched it on trying to get it in.
It's 18 and 21.
Because it tried to squeeze it over, so we ruined that tube. And so, yeah, we're just trying to fix my old one.
So you wouldn't believe it, there's a tyre place just up the road.
It's about 40 k's back.
Yeah.
And I rang him from the mission down there. They got a phone, and they said he's got no patches. He's only got small patches. He hasn't got the big ones. He's been waiting on them like the rest of this joint out here, waiting for things. And he said, but bring it in. I'll do my best to try and patch it with the small patches I got. So we're going to, instead of riding any further, because it's just going to ruin the tube if we go further, I'm going to take that one in plus the other two that we've got that have got punctures, and see what he can do and try and fix them all.
The funniest thing is I just stopped in at the Aboriginal community in here, and I said, hey, have you guys seen anyone on a motorbike come through? And she said, yeah, we saw a fella come in this tall, like this, hair like chicken. I'm like, that's him.
Hair like chicken.
Hair like chicken.
Hair like chicken. One of them I got out of there alive, they might have eaten me. They were lovely, actually. They helped me out
they were
there.
really nice.
Yeah, they were.
While Nugget and I headed back up the road about 40 k's to see if we could get some tubes repaired, the Indigenous Community Bush Telegraph had been set into action and they were determined to help us, and they came through and saved the day.
Whoa!
Lovely.
Maybe we'll just take this one with us.
Get on him, morning.
That is a good one.
Where's the 426?
The look of relief on Squid's face says it all. There wasn't much left on this Yamaha, but what was left was gold for us.
How good's that?
The question now on everyone's mind was, would that front tube be okay after sitting in that bike for years? Nugget and I got back to camp in the evening with a new puncture repair kit but no new tubes. So there was a lot riding on this tube.
Yeah, your bike looks like a Balinese disco. Where are we? What are we doing?
Oxford Street. Mardi Gras.
What are we doing?
Sharing a tent. Now we're at a place called Imagey. We've got a tyre. We've got a tyre off a WR426 and we're going to fix it up this morning and we're going to get this show on the road.
I can't believe it. So while we're out trying to get some other stuff,
These two making mates and
it comes on a hood.
yeah, some Indigenous guy come out of the woodwork and come to the rescue. Let's have a look.
We've been saved by Indigenous people a couple of times on this trip.
Mate, they're good people.
Yeah, tell us, Elise, what happened to Nugget? so you rock in here looking for Nugget. What happened?
I went in and the beautiful Aboriginal people doing some paintings, and I said, "Hey guys, have you seen some people come through here on motorbikes?" And she said, "Short little man like this, hair like chicken." I was like, "That's Nugget."
That's Nugget.
That's definitely him. I'm on the right track. Yeah. They were beautiful. They really helped us out.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, you know. What I've always found is, you know, when there's adversity, that this is the most memorable bits of the trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
You know, we will always remember when this Indigenous bloke rocks up with a IT 426 on the bonnet of his car to help us out. Oh, it doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't.
A big day today, and we start with a flat tyre, but things are looking up.
Things are looking very up. We're actually got a little bit of kick in the step this morning, haven't we, Nugget?
We're pumped, mate.
We're pumped.
We're excited.
Dave. I'm glad people think it's really funny that I've got no tyres.
Tube anxieties. Nugget, you got tube anxiety. He's got tube anxiety. We've all got tube anxiety.
Mate, I can hear it. It's leaking.
Oh, gee.
That's straight out of the packet. That's from sitting around too long.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Look at them. Like, they're thin. It's holding, but we need to patch that. We need to patch that, and then you go on the inside, and it's no better.
Holy
You go to
cow.
the inside.
So we've got 3 patches on this one already.
I think we put 8 patches on this, we could use it.
It's got 8 patches, Nugget. How are you feeling?
Mate, it sounds like fly screens on submarines.
Looking a bit...
I was a bit lost yesterday. I come in here looking for help, and then I was looking for some glue, and they sent me. I ended up with getting some stuff, but it didn't quite work. But then they came out and they helped us out there yesterday. They saw us sitting out there in the middle of nowhere, and Lance, is it Lance? Lance, yeah, Lance went and got got a bike and bought it back on the bonnet, and we've got the tube in now, so we're hoping to make it about 400 k's on that tube. So.
And Edna, you saw him out there, he looked a bit lonely.
Yeah, everyone looked a bit lost there, so I was feeling for them. So we ended up going down to camp and throwing a bike on the bonnet, and yeah, we helped them out.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's hostile country out there. You don't want to see anyone stuck out there.
Yeah.
So how did
we felt for you, so we had to do something to help.
No, thank you so much. And I heard you got you described Nugget. How did you describe him?
Chicken hair. The bloke with the chicken hair.
The bloke with the chicken hair.
I'll get a
The bloke with the chicken hair.
I'll get a paint done of a chicken next time I'm here.
Yeah.
Maybe next time you come with no hair.
Yeah, maybe you come with no hair, Nugget. That's a hint. That's a hint.
I'm on an hour in this tube, no good.
Yeah, thank you so much. And all your daughters are painting, like your lovely painting
Yeah,
like you?
they all paint oneness with me here at the art center. Probably right down to the 6 youngest, yeah.
Yeah?
They all paint here with us every day.
And your dad was a famous artist too, eh?
Yeah, and Dad was a famous artist as well. He's got artwork all over the world. His name was Jeff Dale. And in our culture, we can't say their name after their car.
Yeah.
But to me, I think that I want to hear his name so he could be remembered, you know? Yeah. So some people have different ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
I bought
you.
this off Kira. Beautiful. Yeah, well, I'll give this to my daughters.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you very much. It's fantastic.
You go, Nugget. Who painted yours?
Nora.
Hey,
Can I get a photo, Nora? Is that all right?
Yeah.
And I'll put it beside when I put this up on my wall. I'll put a photo of me and you under it. You know?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. That's beautiful, isn't it? Excellent paint. I'll just get a picture.
And what's that picture about, Dave?
No,
no.
Edna. What's
Edna?
This one is the unborn children. We've got a sacred site here in Imiji, and it represents my kids as well. Because Imiji is woman's land, so I had 7 girls.
Wow.
I finally had a baby boy.
Go the boy. He'll be picked on. Yeah.
It's a woman's land.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll show you. I wrote it for you.
So your tribe is a freshwater tribe?
Ngarinyan, yeah, freshwater.
Yeah.
Freshwater. Where there's 3 tribes. There's Warrnambool and Warrawa tribe in Derby, and the Ngarinyan runs from Imiji all the way to Glambrew. So the Wanjinas represent a lot. Yeah.
So Lance was saying in the early days you used to trade with saltwater people and freshwater people before.
Yeah, that's what they used to do, you know, with the pearl shells, and they use them pearl shells now for ceremonies, like dance. We say junba, and they do special dance ceremonies for getting the little boys in, and they come back to be men, you know, out in the bush and all that.
Well, thank you so much for all your kindness yesterday and looking at your wonderful artwork. It was fantastic to be able to take some home and we'll share it.
Yeah, we couldn't just let you just sit there, you know.
Yeah.
So
No.
we knew that you needed help. So one day you might see us on the road, you know.
We will.
Yeah.
We will give you help.
That's right.
Yeah, so we couldn't just leave you there. And
What a great way to start the morning. We might have chewed of anxiety, mate, but they're lovely
It's got
people.
the greatest painting in the world.
Yeah, just beautiful. Lovely. What a privilege, Nugget.
Yeah.
Stunning. Lovely people.
It's a bit sad off camera. The father who's worried about the camera
Yeah.
is really traditional. Told us some really good stories about swapping spears and boomerangs because their timber's so hard. Yeah, he was just a bit worried about being on camera due to cultural things and that, which is it's sad because a lot of those things don't get told out to the public, you know.
Yeah.
It's things I'll remember and you'll remember. But
Oh, definitely.
You just can't get them out there. But yeah, shy men and culturally different to us, and just you have to
Wonderful
accept
help
that.
for us today.
Yeah, it was really good though. I enjoyed that
Yeah.
time. That tube from that bike is in there now.
Mate, it's going to be an
Oh, no.
interesting day. Nugget's got tube anxiety before we even start.
Thanks, Les.
Thanks, Les, for the
for the tube. Okay, I'll putt up the
We
road.
leave Immachi having made new friends, Lance and Edna Dale and their 7 kids. The circumstances of our friendship has been forged in adversity. They saw we needed a hand and they bent over backwards to help us. To cap it off, Edna is an accomplished Indigenous artist and her kids are following in her footsteps of storytelling through art. And by the looks of this rugged landscape, there are many, many more stories to tell.
Nugget, I can't see any crocs.
Hey, if he's any closer, he'd jump out and bite you.
Where is he?
Bite you on the snout. See him over there? Out there in the... There's another one just down, 10 metres down from him. He might have moved. He's just hanging there.
Although we're into the final days of our adventure, Woody and Elise are still on the lookout for great tracks and spectacular places to visit. As we rode along this ridge, we had glimpses of a gorge to our right, but it wasn't until Elise took the drone up did we truly appreciate the stunning beauty of this gorge that was inhabited by the odd freshwater crocodile. On this day, Nugget's tube anxiety takes a back seat, as the return of fuel anxiety is real for me. We've left Halls Creek with our sights set on Kalkaringi, which is 400 kilometres away. The terrain is mainly flat with good track conditions, and I've decided to go for a long distance record with the fuel that I have. I reckon that if I keep the bike sitting around 80 kilometres an hour, I'll make the 400 k's unassisted. But at that speed, it's certainly going to be a long day. Surprisingly, I arrive in Kalkaringi not too far behind the others. But sitting around 80 k's all day to get a fuel economy record is something I don't intend to repeat. Great track, Woody. Ended up being a good, interesting day. Cracking gorges and those roads, just fantastic.
Beautiful, eh?
Yeah, it was good.
Big cattle stations out there, isn't it?
Yeah. Big wide open plains. I went to Kalkaringi, I made it in. Can't believe I made it here. Anyway.
Yeah, good fuel economy.
I suffered doing 80 to 90 k's for the last 2 hours, but it was worth it. I got here. So.
From the air, Kalkaringi doesn't look different from any small country town. But this little town was the epicentre of a movement in 1966, led by Indigenous elder Vincent Lingari, that inspired national change in the form of equal wages for Aboriginal workers and land rights. In August 1966, Vincent Lingari led 200 Indigenous workers from the Wave Hill farm in a walk-off where they were being ill-treated. His actions were the catalyst that would eventually allow Indigenous people to claim land title if they could prove a traditional relationship to country. Vincent's actions were the inspiration for Paul Kelly's song From Little Things, Big Things Grow, and the story of Wave Hill Walk-Off is worth a read. As usual, Nugget has been getting to know the town, and by chance he has bumped into Rob, a direct descendant of Vincent Lingari. Okay, so last night we stayed at Kalkaringi. It's a great place to stay, but Nuggets, whoa! What's the go, Nugget?
I'm onto it. I was telling a story last night about the walk-off.
Yes.
I've met a bloke in town who's the nephew of the famous Vincent who's passed away, and he's telling us his grave's out here.
Wow.
He's going to take us out to see his grave where they all walked off from the station and where they all walked to, I think he said Wananobi Creek, where they all camped for 9 years. But he's the group.
All right, let's go.
Let's go check it out. He's going to meet me there.
All right. Yeah, Nugget, huge discovery last night about this place.
We come into town, the servo was closed. We thought, no, it's 24-hour card, so we filled up with the card. And there was one car there, blacked out windows. And me being the little sticky beak I am, starving, went over and knocked on the window and I said, is there anywhere we can get food? And there was a lovely lady, Indigenous lady there, and she said, yep, go around the corner. There's a little club there. And mate, what a hidden gem. What a hidden gem. We went around the corner and wow. Yeah, we're in there, we got a great feed, met some great people, but also we've met Rob here, who's related to the great Vincent Lagano, who did the walk-off. Lingari. I've not got that, I've got that tongue movement. Did the famous walk-off from Wave Hill Station back in '66. They weren't happy with the treatment. They were getting treated different to the whites, forced to live in little tin shacks on the ground, crawling on their knees. And I actually knew about the story, and it dawned on me when I saw the name. And we met Rob, and he's brought us out to where it actually happened. It's actually it's eerie to think that this happened only 50 years ago. So it's actually not that long ago, is it?
This year is the anniversary, the 55th anniversary of the Wave Hill Walk-Off, which we celebrate annually.
Yep.
And where I'm standing now with Nugget, behind me is the first settlement after they walked off back in '66 from Wave Hill Station.
And they stayed here for 9 years.
And they stayed, I think they stayed here for a couple of, I think about 9 years, till Frank Hardy came up here.
Well, the Prime Minister of Australia, Gough Whitlam, got involved in the end and came up and to here and got involved. That's how serious this was.
It was just wrong, wasn't it? Just Aboriginal people just being treated completely different to whites.
And it's not like there was 200 that walked off. But what I found out about talking to a lot of the Indigenous and relatives, if there's 200, there was maybe 200 in the camp on the station. And
But then there's the families.
Yeah, only a handful got to go out and ride and work, but the others couldn't leave. They wouldn't leave. If one walked, you were shot. It wasn't safe to walk off. People weren't treated right. So for 200 to get together, and it's the first time like a mass movement has happened, and the people who ran the station, you couldn't do anything. If 200 walk, it's changed the whole dynamics of the way people are treated in this country.
There were a lot of walk-offs in other places, stations before the Wave Hill.
Okay.
This one was one of the most successful ones.
Yeah. Well, it's good because, mate, what a hidden gem this town is. It's just, How do you pronounce it? Because I'm not good with the tongue again.
Kalkaringi.
Kalkaringi. And as I said yesterday on the video, it's pretty remote. Like we've been in the Gibb River, Dame Simpson Desert. This is remote, and this is true outback Australia. You don't get any more out. This is so remote, Mad Max turned back. Thanks for your time, Rob. And you're now going to take us to Vincent's grave, is
yes,
this true?
We're going to go straight up there to...
What a privilege.
Cemetery.
What a privilege to take us onto the land.
There,
yeah. Thank you very much. Let's go.
All good.
Here we are, Robert, your ancestors' resting place. Is there any cultural things we've got to do before?
Yes, this is Dumbi Weji Jalayalang, which means this is where they come and rest, where it's warm altogether. So, Adivanging Molokaranyana Mulanga Nagorola, which means all our family and ancestors are all here resting. So, you know, we come to pay respect. But what I'm going to do first, before we go see old Vincent Ingiari's grave, is I'll have to go there and speak in language, just so he can welcome me so I don't get sick from his spirit, and also to welcome you more as well, just to let him know that you guys are there. Mate,
you're giving me goosebumps. It's okay.
All good. So if we can walk in, and I'll go first.
You go first.
Yeah, you come with me.
Yeah.
So, you can keep filming if you want.
Yep.
I'm doing this.
Yep.
You guys want to come in slowly, maybe? Angkat, dongeng neng, ayo nyama, mana ya nih, coba dah. Kalau yang boleh ya, ada yang boleh nyawarat. Madu ka, nyununya nyawarat na, ngolo, ya nih nyawan gini nyunun. Lalu pengen Yolo nyamo kalau wananya kanera jenbarak kenying mah nyununya story nyununya york nyarat nakare aja perat nyununya mandat. Like you said, we're here. Welcome us, welcome you guys, because he is the one that walked off, and now his story's been told for you more, you know. So yeah.
Was Vincent a welcoming man? He was.
Yeah, he was. Most certainly, he was. He very humble.
Humble, yeah.
Probably one of the greatest men for all Gurungi people, because he's one of those ones that stood up against all odds.
Yeah, he seems a very strong man in my eyes.
Yeah.
For anyone to make a commitment in those days, any man who gets up and goes against the grain has to have some sort of will and determination, and obviously he had a massive one, because
this one did,
he risked being shot and executed and all sorts of things too.
He must have been a great leader to be able to influence everyone else, because a lot of these walk-offs were not successful. So he led the first successful walk-off
and made sure that he, well, kind of asked what he got now.
Yeah.
Little did he know that, you know, he started off the union,
the movements,
yeah. And, you know, fair wages and all that sort of stuff. So
Could I look and have a look at this picture? I see
Yeah,
this picture there.
I've already said welcome to you.
He lived to 80. He looks like a good horseman.
Great privilege. I'm so pleased we kind of just, you know, randomly passed through here.
And now you can put everything together.
Yeah.
Because you heard about this song that Paul Kelly sang about this old fella here.
From Little Things, Big
Things Grow.
Now you're in the...
So now that whole song is written about here.
Yep.
What a fitting end to the final day of our motorcycle adventure across the top end of Australia. We had taken on some tough conditions, and at times the tracks were challenging and relentless. And we'd been immersed in a huge ancient landscape for weeks, and to finish off on the final day with a greater understanding of Australian history just capped off a cracking adventure. The remaining 800 k's of the trip would be on the blacktop, And later this evening, Nugget and I would arrive in Darwin. But there was still some unfinished business, and it had something to do with kangaroo poo.
I think someone made a bet, says it's our last day of riding. Yeah. Someone made a bet with me that if I run out of fuel, you would eat kangaroo poo. Is that true?
I heard that.
We haven't.
I heard that.
Woody doesn't lie.
Actually, it's on film.
Is it? It's on film.
So, what I've done is a bit of our Australia finest. I've picked up, had in my pocket for 2 days, ready for this auspicious occasion. So,
now let me have a go with these. See what it's like.
It's just grass, Dave.
Can I put it in my water?
Yeah, you can drink it.
All right. Okay.
By the looks of it, you can smoke it. But you can put it in your water.
All right. Okay. I think that's what I'll do. You serious, Nugget?
Yeah, I'm serious. You got to do it, mate. I'm a man of my word, and so are you, hopefully.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but see? Yeah, I could actually promote that.
All right.
Here's to Brother David, Brother David, Brother David. Here's to Brother David. He's happy, he's jolly, he's so pissed by golly. Here's to Brother David, who's with us Tuesday. So drink it down, 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 down.
No, I can't do any more than that. Ugh, God.
That's all gone. So to make you do that, I had to run out of fuel, Dave. But Squid and I set you up because I didn't even really run out of fuel. I just stopped 500 metres out of town and Squid pushed me in. We just pretended we ran out of fuel.
Were you in on this? That's a disgrace.
That's a sliding doors moment.
That is a disgrace.
It's a
What's
twist
going
in
to
the ball.
happen to me with this? What's going to happen
If
to
you
me?
used to get out of bed in the morning and you're hopping on 2 feet, I'd be a bit worried.
I think Nugget, you should eat that last little bit then for stitching him up.
Oh. What's that? Down the river.
Someone's out now, KDM.
All right. He did eat it.
Yeah, thank you. Mate, it was a great time.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, it's great, wasn't it? Thanks, mate. It's great. It's great.
We'll get 4 flats going down the road now.
Yeah, you better, mate, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
So we got everything, mate.
It looks all good. Yeah.
Have we got tires?
Yes.
Have we got the spanner to get the wheel nut on?
Yes.
And we've got the WD-40.
Yes.
for the thing. Okay. And I've got tubes. Pump.
I've got my pump.
We're on.
There.
Yeah,
Have we got tubes? I got 2. One with like 2 both got holes in it.
We don't need it.
You got the punch through protection.
Oh,
We don't need him.
remember, Woody? Remember that?
We've got 100k to go.
Last time I rode it was like 10 metres to shop. Remember in high country, I ran straight over top of the flat. Yeah.
Mate, it's been a cracking time.
Absolutely.
One in a lifetime.
Alright.